They say that some things just don't go out of style. That the true classics never die.
Alright guys, I'm going to skip the intro. Let's get straight into it.
Exploration.
Right.
Combat.
Alright guys, we are back. Yes! Working on our little brothel, and after that might be the blacksmith. The So, what we need to do is we need to design the bath area and the seating area. So the entertainment, right? What I was thinking was this. Bath area, seating area, right? So, let's scroll down. I did ask it today before I had to run because of Cauldron. In the 1770s, brothels, a community bath would have been designed to accommodate multiple users at once, but it still would have been relatively modest in size. They're learning about the 1700s here, Bruce, guys. Reflecting the period's architecture and available, here's an estimate of your typical dimensions. So its length would have been 4.5 meters, width would have been up to 3.6, height would have been 2.4, which is the height of the ceiling. Although I have made mine 2.9 because character. Bathtub or pool size is roughly 1.8 to 3 meters and about 1.8 in width. Right, so it's about 0.9 to 0.6 deep. So, right, we're going to do the bigger size because why not? So we need something that's 4.5. So we're going to duplicate this and we'll bring it out here. Right. So this is our little thingy. Right, we'll put it there. And then we'll make the walls and then put it back in, right? So the first thing is it would have been 4.5 to 3.6. Now this is 3.6 meters. Right? It's 2.93 on the height and the width. Right, so that's right, and now we want to go into edit mode, duplicate it again, move it on the x-axis, we'll put it there. We want to rotate it x90. No, we want to rotate it z90. Perfect. And then we want to put it there, and we want to make this thing bigger. Right. Right. And scale. Sorry, we want to scale it by the X. What's it now? Oops. Right. GX along here. Get away from there. There must be a way of how to tell how to resize a object in edit mode using the dimensions. In Blender. Yeah. Transform. But that moves it. It's so fucking annoying. It's this fucking scaling. If I type 1.5, is 1.5 of what? It's... So, actually delete. add mesh cube GX. So GY there. Once again, scale 1. Okay, but what's the fucking size? So many people complain about this and they just persist with it. It's like, we know everybody hates it, but we're just going to keep doing it just because we want to. 0.35 and 4.5 I believe is the wall. Yep, and then we change that to 2.9 I think it was, and then add mesh cube because we got to do it this way because you don't listen to your place. We go X is 3.35, Y is 3.6, and that is 2.9. I believe it's 2.9. Now, we want to go that, and we want to object join. That, and it's definitely not physics, goes underground. Right. So that we want to put on the magnet, and we want to rotate Z, we want to rotate X 90. No, hang on. Rotate Z 90. And then move G H G like that. And that one is 3.77, 3.7741, 3.7741. Right. Go back into object mode. GX, sorry, GY, GY, that. GZ. Why is that so much bigger than? Oh, hang on. It was 2, wasn't it? Fucking scaling! Arrgh! Like I said, it's so fucking cancerous. That. Right. That is actually that. That is actually that. Because of fucking scaling. 2 is that. And that actually becomes that. And 3.6 divided by 2 is 1.8. And this one is actually 4.5. 4.5 divided by 2, which is 2.25. Now, that should be... Oops. Delete. Now, this we want to rotate on the z-axis for 90 and enter. And then we want to move it on the x, sorry, gx, like that, and gy, like that. And now if we lock those two together, object, join, and then move it out of physics. And we rename this to communal, probably not spelled right, bath walls. G up here. Alright, turn off magnet. G is there. We want to rotate it on the X by, sorry, rotate it on the Z by 90, rotate on the Z by 90, rotate on the Z by 90, no, rotate on the Z by 108, rotate on the Z by 180, perfect. G to about here, magnet, G there, and then we want to GY to there. Now the bathtub or pool size roughly would have been, right, so if we add mesh, I used a cylinder. Can you please draw what a communal bath would have looked like? I'll also fix this here while I'm at it. Right, so basically it's just a round tub. The bath width would have been 1.8, 1.2 to 1.8. So 1.2, sorry, 1.8. We'll make it 1.8. And and the width is 1.2. And the height, depth would have been 0.9. And so $1.8. Right, so that is that, and we'll move that out of the way. Edit into vertices. Now those. We would to GX. So we got that. That. We want to take 4.5, which is 11 point something. And then, yeah, G along the X. Yeah, that. Sorry. The bloody M, I swear. That plus 4.5 equals 2.7. So we want to move that to that. Yes, you're a cat. Once again, the scaling has fucked me in the ass. Oh, God, get rid of it! It's so fucking cancerous. Add mesh. If I select an object, I want to know what the fucking size of the object is, not the scale of it. Sure, keep your scaling, but put a fucking new field. Three fields. What's the actual size of the object you selected? What's the width and what's the height? It's so easy. Right, we want to set this to 1.8 by 1.8 by 0.9. Right, now that's the height and that's the width of the thing, right? Now, oh, sorry, no, it's got edit. Go in above mode, go down, zoom in, and select, and G along the x-axis. So it is. Okay, I know why I fucked up. Because 4.5 is including the actual circle, right? So it's got to be less than that. Hey, here's a question. What's the actual size of the object I've just selected? I can tell you the location and everything, but I can't tell you how big it is. Why would you want to know that in a design program? Fuck knows. How to actually tell the size of an object in edit mode Blender, because I don't want scaling. So many people have said the same thing. There's literally a topic I was just reading about it. Grid size, units, scale. Fuck scale. Where to find the measurements of an object? Here we go. Press N. Bring up the properties panel, the VD. Dimensions are listed below scale. No, they're not. You have to have the modeling view. You have to have the modeling view at the top and selected and be in object mode for the dimensions appear. But we're trying to edit the fucking object. Why would we have to be in... As a Blender 3, modeling view is no longer required. But if we're trying to edit an object, how and what is the point of being in object mode if you're trying to edit the object? So, edit. View. This is ridiculous. It really is. The width is that. The length is 3 meters. And the width is 1.8. Right, so that's the bath there. Right, so now if we go back into here, go into edit mode, we select this stuff, and then we move it along the x-axis to line up to there. We scale on the X. No. Now we want to cut and G along the X. Vertex is closest, try that. GX. GX. GY. So the width is basically right. GX. And GX. Actually, if we put that, say, over there, right, and then we select this, and we move this all the way to there, it's about right. Like that. And then we just GX, sorry, move Y there, and object and that, and then we just delete that. Now we go into edit mode and then select all and then I. No. I. Yeah. That and I. That I. 0.15. Actually, let's just say 0.1. And then I again to 0.1, like that. And then if we join these, I could have just mirrored it, I suppose, but Right. Oh, thanks, man. Spam, really? Now, I know there's an easier way of doing this. I'm just trying to think. I saw a video somewhere someone was doing it. In case you're wondering if the audio, I've slowed it down so I can watch what it was just doing. Right. Is it 1.8? Width No. 2.4 to 3.6. Once again, scaling! Oh my god, it's frustrating. Right, let's try this again. Add cylinder. Radius is actually 3.6. 1.9 was the... That's massive. Fuck the scaling, I swear it's so fucking cancerous. That's 3.6, right? Like... It doesn't actually tell you how he does it though. Fucking useless. Mate, don't call yourself a tutorial if you don't show people how to do shit. Pretty sure it's the barrels.
Wooden barrel in a blender. You can see here is thing to make. So let's jump in. We're going to go S, Z and scale everything a little bit on the Z axis. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go Control R to add in a loop, double click, and then S to scale it up a little bit. And then you're simply just going to go Control B to create a bevel, and then roll your middle mouse button to add in about this many segments. And you can move your mouse even further if you want. You can press A to select everything, go S, Z, and just maybe scale it up. Just make it a little bit more barrel shaped. You can always grab proportional editing and kind of scale the middle, just to kind of match it all up. Barrels, there are a lot of different sizes and shapes of barrels, so there's no one kind of like absolute definite kind of curvature that they have. Like you're going to have, let's look at some references, they're all a little bit different, but this is kind of what I'm going with. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to our top orthographic view, and from here we're just going to select everything. So holding and shift, let's just select everything except just one row of faces like this. So in fact, select everything and then just go Shift Alt, left click and deselect just a row of these guys coming up like so. So just just above them, and then you're going to go X, and you're going to delete faces. So all we have is this. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to think about it. We had 32 of those vertices. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get our calculator. Let's go work it out. So we're going to go 300.
Right, vertices. Delete. Right, go back to ground. Go object, add mesh, cylinder. Vertices was 32. And dimensions was 3.8 by 1.9. 3.8, right? Yeah, 3.6. 3.6 by 3.6 by 9. Right, and then go into object edit mode. Select all except one vertices, and then go delete faces. Alright, we're back to where he is now.
Good, and 60. Let's divide.
So 360
divided that by 32, and that gives us 11.25. So what we're going to do, let's go to our top orthographic view by pressing 7 on the number pad. Let's select this, tab into edit mode, and let's change our
and go into Z like that. Extrude like that.
Pivot, transform pivot to 3D cursor.
And that to 3D cursor.
Our 3D cursor is in the center here, where our origin point is. So that's going to work just perfect. So we're going to go Shift D to duplicate.
And now Shift D.
And then we're going to follow that by RZ 11.
Right. RZ 11.25, right?
0.25. I'm going to hit enter.
Yeah.
Now if we go Shift R, we can hold that in, and it's just
Right, and then Shift R. Mine didn't work. So, right, let's try this again. Delete the cylinder. Right, add mesh cylinder. 3.6 by 3.6. Right. Let's extrude.
Z and scale everything a little bit on the Z axis. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go Control R to add in a loop, double click, and then S to scale it up even further. You can always grab proportional edit different. So we're going to have let's look at some. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to our top orthographic view, and from here we're just going to select here. We're going to go to, since they're all a little bit different, but this is kind of what I'm going with. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to our top orthographic view, and from here we're just going to select things. So we're going to tab into edit mode with all of this active. We're going to go S, Z, and scale everything a little bit on the Z axis. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go Control R to add in a loop, double click, and then S to scale it up a little bit. And then you're simply just going to go Control B to create a bevel, and then roll your middle mouse button to add in about this many segments, and you can move your mouse even further if you want. You can press A to select everything, go S, Z, and just maybe scale it up. Just make it a little bit more barrel shaped. You can always grab proportional editing and kind of scale the middle, just to kind of match it all up. Barrels, there are a lot of different sizes and shapes of barrels, so there's no one kind of like absolute definite kind of curvature to have. Like, you're going to have, let's look at some references, they're all a little bit different, but this is kind of what I'm going with. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to our top orthographic view, and from here we're just going to select everything. So holding in shift, let's just select everything except just one row of faces like this. So in fact, select everything and then just go shift alt, left click and deselect just a row of these guys coming up like so. So just a row of them, and then you're going to go X and you can delete faces. So all we have is this. Row of these guys coming up like so. These guys, row of faces like this. So in fact, select everything and then just go shift alt, left.
Shift alt. Oh, shift alt. Shift alt. God. Yeah, what's up? No, what's up? Okay. I'm trying to get something done on the computer. Yeah. Alright, okay, cool. I'm good. You're home. No worries. Right. Now, let's start this yet again. Right, so add mesh cylinder 3.6 by 3.6. Right. Go into edit mode. Go into edit mode. Shift Alt select.
Click and deselect just a
What? I'm pressing Shift Alt and I'm not getting what he's getting. They changed the keys maybe. There. Got the same result.
Faces like this. So in fact, select everything and then just go Shift Alt, left click and deselect just a row of these guys coming up like so. So just a row of them, and then you're going to go X and you're going to delete faces. So all we have is this. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to think about it. We had 32 of those vertices. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get our calculator. Let's go work it out. So we're going to go 360. Let's divide that by 32, and that gives us 11.25. So what we're going to do, let's go to our top orthographic view by pressing 7 on the number pad. Let's select this, tab into edit. Mode, and let's change our pivot, transform pivot to 3D cursor. Our 3D cursor is in the center here, where our origin point is. So that's going to work just perfect. So we're going to go Shift D to duplicate, and then we're going to follow that by RZ11.
So Shift D, yeah, RZ 11.25, enter.
0.25. I'm going to hit enter. Now if we go Shift R, we can hold that in, and it's just going to repeat that action.
So Shift R. Bro, that doesn't work either. Duplicate RZ 11.25. Shift D RZ 11.25. Shift D Z 11.25. Shift D Z 11.25. Shift D Z 11.25. Okay, now it's working.
All the way around till we come to the other end, and because we worked it out with the math, it should be 100% accurate. We can now press A to select everything, and let's just go over to our modifiers. Let's just give this a Let's go with a solidify modifier.
And modify, add, solid.
And let's take these out, like so. Okay.
Now thickness. Let's say 0.10, right? How's that look? Yeah. 15. 15 is probably better.
Now we kind of have the gap we're looking for, like that. Okay, that's cool. You can make this however thick you want. I'm going to go something like that. It'll make it look even better. Let's give this a bevel modifier, and let's change the bevel. Let's make it smaller. So something like this, and you can add...
And then we add bevel. And he does 0.009.
Add more segments, so I'm going to bump it up to 2.
He bumps it up to 2.
And let's give this a subdivision surface modifier, just to smooth it.
And then add subdivision surface.
Things out. And now you can right click and go shade smooth. So now we have...
And now right click and... shade smooth.
the kind of the planks of our barrel here. And the thing you can do here, if you feel like the gap in here is just a little bit too big, just tab into edit mode. And then what you can do is you can go over, I think, to our solidify. You just come here to the offset a little bit, and you can mess around with this offset till that gap here kind of closes a little bit. So you can see now they're touching over here. So just mess around with the thickness and the offset on the solidify to kind of close that gap. But we have the barrel here, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to go Shift A. Let's add in a circle, and let's go G, Z. Just move it all the way to the top. And we're going to tab into edit.
Alright. Now we need to change this. Edit. Like that. Guys, I need to research this, so I'm going to jump off for the night. Sorry about the short stream.